Hello, hello, hello. Welcome once again to Over Coffee, our show about gaming or just about anything at all on a Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 6:30 in the morning Eastern Time. I'm here with John and Rich, and my name is Game Master Dave, and we might have Doug, our painter extraordinaire, join us at any moment. We'll see what happens. We do hope you had a wonderful holiday season and Happy New Year. It is the 4th of January. Are we saying the year of the second apocalypse? What are we saying?
No,
I think
no.
it's
As
still
as as the tweets
thing.
were saying,
Yeah.
2021, as in WON.
Oh, that's interesting. 2021, the year of the one of us winning, I guess. I don't know. Something like,
No,
oh, no.
2021.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. All right, perfect. So, how are you guys doing and how was your holiday?
Oh, go ahead, John. You good?
My holiday was all right. I didn't really do anything. Didn't really go anywhere because there's still everything going on. Just spent time with my family, stayed at home. I went a little stir crazy, but other than that, that's pretty much it.
Cool.
You're going stir crazy.
Well, because it's like something to really kind of kick in. Like I get a lot of people could be like, "Oh, I just want to go out. I just want to do stuff." It's like after. So let's say, for example, something that you traditionally do, like going out with a lot of people or just being out of your house, being in, especially if it's like New Year's really bogs you down.
Yeah.
Now that said, I wouldn't do something so reckless to say, well, I guess that I'm just going to go out. Like, no, that's not the right approach. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I can certainly feel it. So like, these two holidays back to back was certainly rough.
So
Yeah.
I was it was kind of funny because I was saying I kind of have the opposite in that I enjoy staying in.
Mm.
So not having to go out for even for New Year's. I was never a big fan. What do you wind up drinking, and then the
There's a
next
lot
thing
of
the
there's
next
a
thing
lot
you
of
wind up
pressure.
paying for it.
I always found that there's a lot of pressure to make sure you have an awesome time on New Year's Eve. We have to have fun. It's mandatory fun, and then like that always ends up being like an okay night, and then you're disappointed.
Right, right. Or you get like three or four invites to three or four different parties, and or to gatherings because they can't all be together, of course. And
Yeah.
then you're like, oh great, well I got to say yes to one and no to two others,
Right.
and then it's so much stress. And who do I go to? Or maybe I go here first for early, and I'll go there late, and it's just, and then you got to go home. Oh, but everybody's like, no, 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 crash here. I'm like, no, 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 I want to go home.
Yeah.
So I wind up not drinking because I don't
The
want to stay
drive.
wherever I am.
Yeah. Interesting.
And then not have fun. Then I'm just tired. Then I'm not
Right.
enjoying the party. I'm just tired.
I
So
I made it a point on New Year's Day. First of all, New Year's Eve, we opened it up to a bunch of people to come just join us on a Zoom room, and we had family, we had friends, we had church friends, we had a strange mix, a really nice mix of people, and we just had conversations about a whole bunch of different stuff, and we all stayed really positive. We just said we're not talking about any negativity on New Year's Eve Zoom room. It's like, what did we find positive about 2020, and what are we looking forward to in 2021? It was a really great discussion. So that actually,
okay,
Ginger,
so Dave, I was gonna
yeah.
say, what are you and Ginger looking forward to in 2021?
Oh, so well, we're looking forward to a lot of conventions, even if they're online, which is okay. Uplink, February 2021st. We're looking forward to that, or at least I am. Ginger's not that involved. She might run a D&D game or something like
It
that
doesn't
there.
matter. We're still all looking forward to it. I know
Yeah,
I'm not that involved, but
right.
we're all part of the team,
Yep.
and
Yep.
of
We're
course
looking
I'm.
we're looking forward to some more hiking. So we just finished. I just finished reading her a book about trees, and we're in the middle of reading a fiction book about trees. We just she's been having a lot of fun. I got her a tree identification book. That was like the theme for like the last 3 or 4 months of our lives was identifying trees. So uh,
Do you guys go camping?
we have, yeah, 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 yeah.
Or very
So
interesting.
yeah.
Wait till you
Uh,
get to my turn.
Oh, okay, good. So then I played a ton of games. I made it a point on New Year's Day. I'm not doing any work at all. I just streamed, played games online, watched movies with friends.
Did you open your mail?
No, I didn't
Okay,
open
good.
it. Yeah. I had so much fun. Ginger says she thinks. I mean, obviously there's this overall craziness of the pandemic, and we did learn of a few people that we know that passed away in the last week.
Yeah,
But
sad.
the thing was, is Ginger said that this was the best holiday she's had in her entire life,
You
and
know, I foresee smaller gatherings in the future. I'm not saying that the big family Thanksgiving is done or something like that. I'm not saying that.
yeah, yeah,
What I'm saying is I think people will will opt more to do more focused and smaller things, and maybe not force people to travel as much for some things, unless of course it's normal and the
yeah,
accommodations, but not force people to travel just to go home.
yeah.
I quite enjoyed the holidays. I spent a lot of time by myself, which for me isn't a bad thing. I needed it. I didn't realize how bad um, I needed time off.
Okay,
I didn't realize that until I actually took it, and
right.
I decompressed and I de-stressed, and I was for a month I had a pain, a knot in my back,
Yeah. Wow.
and that went away. That also had something to do with my bed. I got a new mattress. I got a
Okay.
new bed, and that helped a lot. But it was more than that. It was mental. It was physical. It was things. I actually lost weight over the holidays,
Wow,
which
that's
was
awesome.
which is great. Um, but there's a lot of things in 2021 that I'm looking forward to. By the way, next year is called 2022. Just
Oh,
saying.
I see what you're saying. Okay, right. I got that one.
But this upcoming year, I talked only a little bit about it last year, but this upcoming year, this last 2 weeks, I really solidified my plans.
Cool.
This upcoming year, I am going to buy something up or out state.
Oh yeah,
La-
you mentioned this in late last year. Yeah.
yeah, so I am going to do it, but I put together plans, and I'm going to build all the stuff on it myself, with help, not
Yeah.
alone,
Right.
but with
But you're
help.
you're not hiring outside contractors.
Correct. Correct. Except on the absolute things I absolutely have to.
Electrical, plumbing, whatever.
Actually, plumbing is very easy.
Yeah,
And
but you still need to get it inspected, I'm sure, whatever you got to do. But
right, but you don't need contrary to popular belief, you do not need a licensed contractor to put stuff in. You
okay.
only need it to be inspected. Oh, and by the way, it's only the towns on Long Island that require you to go to an outside contractor to get it inspected, which they will charge you $500 to $700 for, just to
Yeah.
walk in your house and say, "Yeah, it looks all right." That's it. That's all they do. They don't
Yeah.
do anything else, and if they didn't do the work, they don't even want to do it.
Yeah.
And that it's stupid because uh, they want to charge $3,000 for a job, and then which is really, if you sit down and you take your time, is pretty easy. And then so the way they get you is, okay, well then I'll inspect it for 700.
Right.
I mean, it's just a money grab, to be honest with you. I personally think that if the town and the county has inspectors, because in Suffolk County you don't need a licensed you don't need someone licensed to do construction or work on your own house. It does need to be inspected, and that's okay. But come on, it's ridiculous.
Well, there you go.
But anyway,
We're gonna talk more about that, I'm sure.
but anyway,
As you
I
get your stuff
actually
going.
I have a friend who is going to help, and he is an electrician. So
Okay.
I won't need a contractor for plumbing or electrician or um, framing. I have a bunch of projects lined up, and the way I line them up is to teach me the skills I need to get to the next level of building.
Cool.
So I'm gonna start small. But the reason why I asked about camping is because probably for the first year we'll probably go camping and then while I'm there, I'll build stuff while we're camping.
Oh, that's cool. Oh, that's interesting. All right.
So, like
Hey, Doug.
the very first thing is an outhouse,
Yes, very cool.
a composting outhouse.
Doug has joined us. Hello, Doug.
Happy New Year.
Happy New
New
Year,
Year.
Googly.
And so we were talking about how our holiday was, maybe a little bit comparison to other years. Did you have a good time? Was it less? Was it more?
So, I mean, it was much less considering, I usually I would
so much more.
Oh yeah, right. I wish. Well, it was so much more dramatic. How about that? But yeah, no, my birthday's right around Christmas, and usually I have like 7 people that I celebrate birthdays with, like my best friend, his wife, my father, we all have birthdays around Christmas. My girlfriend even now, we all have birthdays around Christmas. So usually Christmas is a huge deal because we're all celebrating 1,000 things.
Yeah.
And this year we didn't do any of that. So
Yeah.
we just kind of like had dinner.
Okay. Well, okay. That's okay.
But it was nice, it was relaxing. I needed time off.
Yeah. Now, John, you got during this time of the year, there's a lot of banking holidays. So did you get a chance to relax a little? Did you get a chance to be
I had 2 days off. I had 2.5 days off so Christmas Day we were off, and Christmas Eve we got out early. Same thing with New Year's. New Year's we had New Year's Day off, and New Year's Eve we got out early. I mean, early being 3 o'clock. So,
Did you have some people? I'm just curious. Do you have enough seniority, or did you not bother, or whatever, to work? Because the day after, since Christmas and New Year's Day were on Friday, right? So banks are open at least half days. Most banks are open at least half days on Saturday. Did you have to work that Saturday?
Well, my thing is, so my position with the bank, I don't work on weekends unless I choose to. Like the situation where my position, we're not there on the weekends. Now, granted, that's not that there's not work to do that you can take from home. And as a matter of fact, both weekends I actually did. It's one of those things where I had, nothing too crazy, maybe like a few hours worth max, like 3 or 4. But no, I did end up doing a little bit of work from home. But for the most part, I had the time off, which was nice. And I got some other cool stuff at work. I got my not exactly my year-end review, but like my breakdown for what the next year is going to be like, and I got a promotion. So
awesome! Congratulations, man.
Yeah.
Cool.
Going to give me a pay raise, which is cool, and other cool details. But the point is that they're like, yeah, we know you've been busting your neck. We know it's been crazy, and out of all the staff that are here, you really stepped up. So we are promoting you to the next level, which comes with a 9% pay raise increase. So
9%. That's
awesome.
It's an extra $4,000 a year currently.
That's great.
I'm getting a 1% pay raise, I think, in February.
That's contractual.
It is contractual. So anyway, I'm actually going to have to head to work shortly. So I'm going to stay on my phone. You're going to see some weird things switch around on Zoom because you're going to see me pop in on my phone.
With me too.
Okay, and pop out on my other thing. But I did want to cover the news real quick before I do so, if you guys are okay with that.
Go.
Yep. So I thought this was interesting. River Horse is announcing a Dark Crystal RPG game. So can you believe it?
What system is it based on? Do you know?
Let's see.
Just had this conversation with somebody yesterday.
Oh, you did? Just about? It doesn't say. It doesn't say in this article. If anybody finds out, hey, by the way, you can always send us information at dave@gamemastergames.com or rich.parla@lrhobbies.com. So another thing is this is interesting. I don't know if they do this every year, but this is the first time that I've seen it. There's a new Monster edition for 5th Monster manual. I'm sure it's not huge or anything, but still, Monster manual for 5th edition D&D. called Jinshu Noi. I guess I don't know how you say this actually. It's the Metal Ox. It is basically it's a Metal Ox RPG monster thing from Skirmisher Publishing, and it's for the Chinese New Year. So it's got looks like it's got Chinese themed monsters in it all around the year of the ox. So I thought that was just an interesting supplement somebody might be interested in. Paizo previews a new Starfinder adventure path. So if you're a Starfinder player or if you're a Pathfinder player thinking about going into Starfinders, this looks like it is a really cool. It's called Fly Free or Die, and it looks like it's a story about working class heroes, trying to make money, doing bounty hunting and stuff like that. So thought that was cool. And let's see what else there was. I thought there was one more thing that I wanted to talk about, but I guess. Whoa! Why make Savage Worlds Pathfinder? So it looks like Paizo and Pinnacle Entertainment Group are working together to sort of meld Pathfinder and Savage Worlds. So
That would so you're gonna take overly simple and easy and fast pace and merge it into rules heavy,
I guess so.
infinite choice. Okay,
Yeah,
that'd be I want to see how are they gonna come up with D&D 5e, which becomes the middle of both of them.
maybe.
I'm just just throwing it out there. Okay, so just so you know, the Dark Crystal.
What do you even get from that, though?
Well,
Before we jump into Dark Crystal, what do both parties get? Because neither one of those has any majorly identifiable settings or world. Like I know Paizo's been doing like some world building of their own and whatnot. And
actually, Savage Worlds has a quite full list of worlds. You got to think about it. Deadlands. They have a sci-fi. I'm not saying we play them or know them, but they have a sci-fi one. They have a dark one. They have a fantasy one. They have a whole bunch of different settings. Savage Worlds. It's very easy to write settings for it. So I don't know how to answer your question though, John. You're right. I don't know what they get out of it, but Savage Worlds does have.
Even with settings, that's just window dressing. It's not like I don't know if they
You're
have
right.
any massive canon that anybody really cares about. Can you name a Pathfinder character?
Yeah, Pathfinder the Ranger.
Mm.
The Ranger of the 7th tier. No, you're right. I can't. I can't.
What is Pathfinder?
So, all right. So just so you know, the Dark Crystal RPG. It's apparently the second RPG from River Horse. I did not know that. I don't know what that is. It's following the Labyrinth model. That means simple rules, a GM toolkit, and a large adventure in the core book, which can be played using the official rules or any system you want. I don't know how easy systems port to other games. But the conversation I was having yesterday is why, when a company grabs an IP, do they feel they need to create a whole new rule system surrounding that RPG? It once you put a new, this is my opinion, once you put a new rule system around an RPG, you limit your users because the people aren't going to, or generally, I don't feel that people want to learn new rules when the book is over 200 pages thick. There are people that will jump on, oh, new rule system, let's go and do it. And that's what I do on Friday nights, but seriously. I mean, don't get me wrong. If I get my head, it's like I jumped on the Altered Carbon Kickstarter, so I've done it. It's not like I haven't done it, but I just don't understand why once there's an IP, there needs to be a whole new rule system.
Let me also throw something out there too. And this is from somebody who watched the Dark Crystal as a kid. I don't know if the Dark Crystal is really that strong of an IP. Like, don't get me wrong. It was neat that they were like, hey, look, this is something that, Jim Henson put a lot of work into, and it was kind of like a cult hit. Let's maybe try to do something new with it. So, like, I can understand, like, Netflix trying to do something. But, like, all this idea of, like, oh, we're gonna do a Dark Crystal video game. We're going to do Dark Crystal comic books. Now we're going to do a Dark Crystal RPG. Like, it was a kids fantasy movie. Like by that same logic, like where is Neverending Story, the RPG? Because that had three movies, and the third one had Jack Black.
Wait, what? There was
I
a
I didn't even know that.
third one with Jack Black?
The third one was actually so awful that they kind of like disavowed it. But like, to make a long story short, in terms of franchises, the Neverending Crystal is three times as successful as the Dark Crystal ever was. Maybe it's not so much a monetary return, although I haven't looked at the numbers, but just in terms of let's say like it having a longevity to it. So like the Dark Crystal has a cool look, got a cool aesthetic. It's creepy dark puppets. I get that, but like I don't know if it was really ever that big that it's gonna warrant, let's say, this you know what I mean, like this attempt to build something out of it. You know what I mean?
Well, realistically, it's an obscure it's a more obscure IP that they wanted to return from the dead, essentially, from back in the day. So they did it in a grandiose fashion. Like it's not abnormal. It's an IP that could generate money, and they're doing it. That's what they're doing.
Yeah, I guess to that point, it's one of those things like there's 100 to 250,000 users for every phone game, no matter how stupid it is.
Exactly.
It's one of those RPG things that they're gonna sell X amount of I don't know what the numbers are, but they're gonna sell X amount of copies, regardless of what the IP is. It doesn't matter because there is a cult fan base. Like like I often accuse you, John, of being a an aficionado of video games and pinball and stuff like that, who doesn't like some of the things that happen in the industry, and I get it. I guess I'm just being that way with with RPGs. Even though my basically D&D goal is to read through the RPG starting from 1983. So, but anyway, that's what the oh, I'm sorry. I started to look up Neverending Story. I didn't even know that there was. I knew there was a Neverending Story 2, but I didn't know that there was a 3.
Yeah, man. Like, is Atreyu in it? Because like that's where the whole band name came
Like I
from.
don't think Atreyu's in it. Like I don't know. All I remember is like it's like the first one was based on a book. The second one I don't think was, or might have been influenced. The third one was completely not. Like it was made without the creator's original involvement.
Yeesh.
So it's one of those things of like it's more like, hey, we've got the rights to this. Let's just crank it out. And I think it completely bombed in the box office. They rushed it straight to DVD. And I think it's one of those things where like, oh yeah, like we filmed it in Canada because it was dirt cheap, and like
Did you say DVD? Because like that means it was made.
via VHS. Right.
Okay, I was gonna say.
Sorry, like I'm thinking of terminology now.
Oh, then you could have just said MP3 or MPEG
Listen, if you're
stream.
talking about terminology now, then it went. It didn't even go to a theatrical release. It went right to streaming, just like Wonder Woman 1984.
Well, that's a different story, and that's a whole other conversation because that could very well be the future of things because of just how practicality reasons and also the fact that like we don't know how well theaters are going to be able to rebound from the pandemic.
So are we saying that this could be the end of the evil monopoly on theater food?
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, theater food took like a step up over the past couple of years with all these theaters like
No arguing.
Like restaurants in their theaters. Like I'm just thoroughly upset because Sunday night, I was like, man, I really just want to watch a movie, sit down, enjoy my meal, and then I'm thinking to myself like, and I can't do it. I can't do it by going to the movie theater.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
I didn't know you were doing nothing. You should have texted me. We're rewatching the Firefly series.
Oh,
I have a friend who has not watched it, but that's how I got on the conversation of RPGs because sometime after Firefly and Serenity, they came out with a Serenity RPG.
yeah.
And it just wasn't good because they came up with another rule system.
Did you hear that they're rebaking Firefly?
Hear that. I did.
Yeah.
So I want to watch this before they redo it. Are they they're gonna recast everybody, or some of the original cast gonna be part of it?
based on what I was reading, some of the original cast are coming back.
Okay, I know they can't all come back, and which kind of, the only thing that kind of sucks on that is, and there's no spoilers here, obviously, because it's 18 years old.
Yeah.
Is the movie, right?
Serenity, yeah.
They killed off a character who I'd love to see come back if he could.
Yeah, no, he's not coming back.
It depends on what they keep as canon.
I'm going to assume that they're going to keep that as canon because that came out 8 years after 4 years, 5 years after the original series.
Yeah. Okay.
So and 14 years later, it's like, oh, we're going to remove something from canon 14 years ago. Like, but I can understand.
Oh, you mean like Star Wars?
Yeah, I was just going to say, I can understand Disney doing it because they're a bunch of. If anyone from Disney is listening, I love you for revamping Star Wars, but you're all a bunch of pricks for removing all the extended universe. But yeah, I can understand Disney doing it because the extended universe was not visually impacted. I get it. There are books. Not everyone read the books. You can't keep it canon. But in this case, Serenity was a comic book for a while there too. They created a graphic novel series or something like that. And
something like that.
You can keep the movie, the graphic novel series may not be canon.
So this is all right. So the Firefly role-playing game was produced by Margaret Weiss Productions, or Weiss Productions. I apologize. And again, it's just another rules system.
Mm-hmm. Well, it costs. Listen, man. In my mind, if I'm going to buy an IP, I want to milk every dollar I can get out of it.
I get it. I get it, and I can't argue that. I can't. I won't argue that. I agree with you. So, all right. Where does that leave us? I'm sorry, Dave. I think we interrupted the news.
Yeah, good God.
But that brings us towards the end of our session. So we're back. We need to write up a weekly. So we're meeting tomorrow night. We as a channel have agreed to meet every couple of weeks and discuss strategies for making your entertainment better. So we'll meet tomorrow night and we'll start putting that together.
Yeah.
Whoa! Look at that, Mr. Postman.
So with that being, so every time I watch Amazing World of Gumball, and there's this one episode where they're trying to figure out the name of the neighbor because they forgot, and he's the mailman. So this is the funny part. So they go to his mailbox, thinking that they'll find something on the mail in the middle of the night, and they open it, and Darwin says, "Isn't it strange that a mailman leaves mail in his mailbox?" And so Gumball's like, maybe he doesn't like to bring his work home.
Oh my God!
And it was it was to the resident, to the occupant, to whom it may concern. It's like, oh my God, there was no name on it.
So on Saturday, I guess it was Saturday. I don't remember what it was. Our neighbors have a young fella, and he had a friend over. And I came home from work, and they were both outside. And I overhear them talking because they're young kids. They don't understand that I can hear them talking. And it's like, hey, a mailman is going to your neighbor's house. And he's like, oh yeah, he lives there. And his young friend goes, oh, you have a mailman that lives next door to you? Your mailman lives next door to you? He says, no, he's a mailman, but he's also a neighbor or something. It was just such a strange conversation about mailmen actually live somewhere.
Right.
Very young child's perspective.
They're not
autonomous. The mailman is part of the wild, right? So when you find a mailman, you probably have to catch it. It's like one of the 151 original Pokemon.
One of the 150 original what?
Pokemon.
Oh, Pokemon, yeah. Yeah, I guess so.
Got to catch them all. Actually, now I can envision Dave trying to walk up to his door and one of the kids throwing a Pokeball and trapping Dave. I got one! I got one!
I just tried to go home after work.
He winds up hanging out in the Pokeball with Pikachu.
You guys are funny.
So with that, we are now over a minute. Thank you for joining us. We are first day back, and we will be back on Wednesday again. We are back to our regular schedule, so we will be back on Wednesday, and we have so much to talk about. I have a post office question I want to ask on Wednesday.
Okay.
I want to understand uh, why media mail packages don't get scanned until they hit the post office closest to the delivery address.
Yes.
I don't understand that because I've been getting nothing but emails over the holidays from some eBay packages I sent out, and it's
Yes.
like it takes like 10 days before they get scanned, and everybody's like, "It says the post office hasn't picked them up." I was like, "That's not how that works."
Yeah.
I have to
So
explain it to 10 different people.
I can tell you in 10 seconds. It's because it goes by truck. The reason why you pay so little for media mail is because it goes by truck, not by plane. So it doesn't. So when it gets loaded on a truck, it gets scanned, and then when it reaches its destination, whenever that is, it gets
No. It's not the time, Dave.
Oh,
These aren't getting scanned until they reach the post office at which they're getting delivered from.
yeah, okay, yeah. I don't know. I'm not too sure. I would know the answer, but that's
Yeah,
okay.
no, it was just weird. Like it wasn't getting scanned at like a local place when it get put on a truck. It's getting scanned it got scanned in California. It was the first time it got scanned 10 days later.
Yeah.
I was like, oh,
I'm gonna think that it's a holiday. It's a holiday thing because a lot of the post office stuff that I'm supposed to be receiving soon
yeah,
hasn't been it's all set for pre-shipment, even though it was definitely shipped out a while ago.
got it. Okay, listen, they've been delivered, so I have no complaints. I was just curious.
Well, yeah, we could talk a little bit more about that on Wednesday too. I got a few stories over the holidays which are interesting.
Very cool. All right.
Right.
With that, thank you everyone for joining us. And
Yep.
Dave,
Happy New Year to everybody. We look forward to bringing you a better show, more fun, lots of guests probably too. Also, Uplink February 20 and 21st. That's our online gaming convention brought to us by Long Island Retro. And there's going to be lots of video games there too. We don't get a chance to talk too much about video games. Let me tell you, Uplink is filled with online tournaments and video games, as well as a whole bunch of role-playing games and board games too. So with that said, we wish everybody a great new year, best you can have, and good morning.
good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Nice.
See you later.